guys, it's Melanie again, and I'm back for one more review today. And what I want to review is another purchase that I made when I went on my little Sephora trip not too long ago. And this was a really random purchase because I didn't need this at all. Technically, I didn't need this, but, you know, I needed it. So, I came across this when I was looking at the new Tarte eyeshadow palette because I'm obsessed with eyeshadow. And that Tarte eyeshadow palette was pretty similar to the last one that I'd gotten, and so I was like, nah, you know, kind of over it, don't really need another one of those. But what I did see is this Smooth Operator Micronized Clay Finishing Powder. And this is what it looks like. This is the back. And so just to give you a sense of how big it is, this is it in my palm. So that's the product, and in here you get 9.07 grams or 0.32 ounces. There is a fair amount of product in here. And the thing that suckered me into this right away was that it controls oil because it's clay, and so clay absorbs oil, and I have super oily skin, and so that was the first thing that kind of drew me to it. I was like, ooh, anything that sucks up oil, like, totally grabs my attention. So I looked at that, and then it also so in this it has something called PM20. I don't know what PM20 is, but so what Tarte claims with this particular product is that the ingredients in here, which there's only a couple besides the pure micronized clay, so what they claim is that people will see up to a 20% reduction in their pores. And so I think what the claim is here is that it actually has benefits for your skin other than absorbing the oil and just kind of making your makeup look pretty after you apply it. So this is something that you would use, say, over your either mineral foundation or over your liquid or cream foundation. So it's a finishing powder. But apparently the benefit is that over time, the more that you use this PM20 stuff, which I'll have to do a little bit of research, and maybe I'll do an updated video on this once I do a little bit more research, but apparently this stuff actually helps to reduce the size of your pores, which totally suckered me in because besides being really oily, I have huge pores. And I know it doesn't look like it on camera because, one, I wear a ton of makeup to cover that crap up, but two, like, God bless my camera, it's very forgiving. But I do have pretty large pores almost all over my face. I have them on my cheeks, my nose, forehead, and my chin. So the majority of my face is a giant pore fest, which sucks. But, you know, So I read all those claims on their little display, and I was like, oh, this is so exciting. This is like the greatest thing I've ever found. So then I tried a little bit of their tester there, and this is like the coolest packaging because for any of you who have ever used any kind of mineral foundation or finishing powder for that matter, you know how you get the little plastic thing that sets in the top with the little sifter. Well, this has one tiny hole right in the middle of this sifter top, and I don't even know if you'll be able to see it. It's super small. This is the best idea in the history of the world for any kind of powder because you deliberately have to get the amount out that you want. Like, it just doesn't come spilling out of there, which is fantastic. So you don't this would be so great to travel with. You don't even like have trouble opening this thing because it's going everywhere. Like, it's so contained within there. And the little doodad stopper thing that it came with, you could actually plop that back in there if you were traveling with it. I don't know where I put mine. It's somewhere in my bathroom, but fantastic idea. So for packaging alone, this gets like a 10 out of 10. It's fantastic. But so this powder, the way that I explain the consistency is it feels exactly like silica powder, but it's not silica. So if you've ever felt either the Coastal Scents silica powder or the Makeup Forever HD powder, feels exactly the same way. When you rub your fingers together and you have a little bit of product in there, it just feels like there's some slip there. Feels really smooth and silky. And this is translucent, so it looks white, looks really white. It's totally translucent on your skin, so any skin color from the fairest to the darkest could use this without having any problems, you know, about having like a white cast on your face or anything like that. So that is really, really great about this product. And like I said, the consistency is very similar to the silica powder, but this is micronized clay. And so what they mean by the micronized clay is they have ground this clay to like the finest consistency that you can get it to. So it's almost like the consistency of cornstarch or like really, really finely ground flour. So if you want to talk about baking supplies. But cornstarch is kind of what it reminds me of. So this is fantastic. So what you do is you put the little lid on and you shake out the product that you need. And so you just turn it upside down and just give it a couple taps. And what happens is you can kind of see a little bit came out on the lid there. And so just open it up. And what you have in the lid there is what you'll swirl around with, I just use one of my EcoTools brushes. I just swirl it around in there and then go all over my face with it. I use probably a little bit more than what you should, just because I love the feel of it, and it just gives my skin like the smoothest, most gorgeous finish. Like it doesn't look dry. It looks like a satin finish. So doesn't look dewy, it looks satin. What's a better way to explain that? I'm sure most people know what a satin finish looks like. So looks just really smooth, really pretty, really soft, and when you touch it, it feels soft. So I really, really like this. I have been using this for 6 days now, almost 7. Tomorrow it'll be 7, and I obviously have not noticed any reduction in my pore size. This makes my pores look diminished because of the finish that it gives my skin with that satin finish, but I haven't noticed any decrease in my pore size. I'm assuming you're going to have to use this product for several months before you start to see benefits like that, but I will absolutely be sticking with this. And that's really saying a lot, because this product right here, this amount was $28. That's kind of a lot for a finishing powder, but you technically don't need very much, so this could last somebody for several months if you use it, you know, just the way that you're supposed to, which is pretty sparingly. I'll probably go through it a little bit quicker because I use it every day, and like I said, I use a little bit more than I probably should. But what I normally use is the silica powder from, as a finishing powder, the silica powder from Coastal Scents, which is only like $4 for like an ounce, which is probably, you know, 3 times as big as what you get here with this for $28. So I'm not saying I don't like the Coastal Scents silica powder anymore, but if this is going to help my pores look smaller, I'll pay for that. You know, I've definitely thought about doing, you know, like a, what do you call that? Like a chemical peel to try to kind of help with the size of my pores, but I don't know that that would really make much of a difference. And, you know, whatever. I can't afford cosmetic procedures right now. So, this is kind of a good way to kind of, I think, start to work on that a little bit before I do get to the point where I start those cosmetic procedures. Like chemical peels. So, anyway, I really, really like this product.